Dude.
What?
You see what episode's coming up next?
7. That gives me an idea. Hang on. Try this.
7.
6. No. Look at the number. 007. Yeah. I feel a thing coming on.
Oh, no.
Time can never be your trusted friend or your sworn ally. No, it's the harshest mistress of all. And life is just a chain of moments spent, 1,000 hellos and goodbyes. Maybe a love like ours can leave out its call.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 007 of 2K Drones. I'm a little parched. Wait a second. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
That is epic. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be calling us out, but best intro ever. So we got a lot to talk about today. Holy cow. There is so much stuff going on. The two biggest things going on, though. Number one is this DJI FPV drone that nobody's heard anything about. They don't know it exists. Yeah, right. It's coming out on March 2nd. And we're going to bring in our super special newscaster and detective numero uno, Henry Robotics, to tell us more about this thing.
Hey, hello,
everyone. Henry.
Hello.
You're looking very suave, sir. Looking very suave.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
I just want to. I just before we get into this, because we had a few, unsurprisingly, had a few comments after that. No, it's not. So yes, Henry, let's get into it. So DJI FPV.
Yeah, so there are a couple new leaks that we have. The biggest leak, I think, that has revealed the most, apart from all the teasers and everything confirming everything, has been the Get FPV leak, where basically Get FPV accidentally posted an article, just saying everything, a bunch of specs, how the FPV drone works, what the camera is going to be like, what the modes are like, that sort of thing. And they just posted that along with an image of the actual price of it. And so they, of course, took down the website, but Drone XL luckily has basically archived everything by copy paste and saving the image. So it's definitely interesting. So it's going to be confirmed $1,299, and it's going to have a 4K 60 FPS camera with up to 1080p to 120 FPS. And the 4K 60 will be in up to 120 megabits per second. It'll be in H.264 or H.265, and it's going to have a one-axis gimbal with rock-steady image stabilization. And so as for the actual flight characteristics, it's going to be an interesting one because out of the box, it flies just like a Mavic. It has, normal mode, sports mode, and that sort of thing. But in the settings, if you go into the settings, you can activate the, DJI's, acro version of the drone so that it'll, just continue going forward when you press, the forward stick and that sort of thing. And on the back of the controller, there's a screw so that when you unscrew it, the joystick doesn't go back to the center, doesn't center itself, just like a normal FPV joystick. And so basically all the, vanilla modes don't go inverted. So you won't be able to tilt the drone, so much so that it falls out of the sky, out of the box. But you can, very deep in the settings, apparently, turn off all assists and do whatever you want. Just do flips, barrel rolls, whatever. But that's super deep in the settings, according to this Get FPV leak.
Yeah, I'm gonna interrupt. So
yeah, go ahead.
They're treating it very much like iOS architecture. It sounds like they're taking, so it starts off kind of like a Mavic with a much more freestyle flight style. Used style too many times there. But then if you go deep into the settings, then you can unleash the beast that lies within, which is more of a true FPV. And that's when the DJI refresh is going to come in hard.
Oh yeah. And it's I mean, it's going to be an interesting one because out of the box, it doesn't fly like an FPV drone. It flies like a Mavic. And the discussion is whether you should just buy a Mavic Air or a Mavic Air 2 or something that just goes fast, and you can buy goggles with the extra money you save, or whether you should buy this.
No, you're gonna buy this for a couple of reasons. I was watching some videos on flying Mavics in a more FPV mode, since they kind of have it. You have to do like an S flight, be really smooth with the sticks. You have to hold the speed. You can't go straight. You have to keep the horizon in the background. You can pull it off kinda, but it takes a lot more work than this thing is more tuned to more fly. We're going for the cinematic thing. That's what it's gonna do really well. It'll bang.
It is a cinematic whoop. It's been confused, I think, slightly by calling it an FPV drone. There's really sort of several types of FPV droning, if you like. There's FPV racing. There's your sort of acrobatics and stunt stuff. Then there's your cinematic stuff where you're flying like a bird and you're doing sort of like cliff dives and you're very much flying in a straight line. You're not doing lots of loop-the-loops and things like that. You are flying around and you're flying like a bird. So you're getting a bird's eye view of things. And you're able to do sort of movements. You've probably seen it where there's cars racing along, especially rally cars where they're skidding around and the drone can sort of follow it around. This is very much that one. I don't think this is for doing loop-the-loops and flips and things like that. This is very much cinematic FPV.
Yeah. No, this thing is, and Thomas hits it kind of, he's like, it looks kind of chunky to be doing freestyle and stuff. And it is. It's like gonna fly like we do a Ken Aaronism pigeon jerky kind of flight, kind of like, you know. But that's what I think. DJI knows that. That's what they're going for. They're gonna they want people like Keith and myself and you, Henry, to like, we fly camera drones. They're like, if we come out with something that kind of like has training wheels on it to go FPV, then they're gonna buy into it because they want the cinematic feel but have FPV. So it's that hybrid, and then you can kind of go deep into the settings and kick the training wheels off, and then fly more like FPV. And then I don't know if you take it further than that, then you go deep into what the true hobbyists for FPV do, and they can't stop you from doing that. But I think they're just hoping there are guys like us that'll we'll go out to do a job, we'll go to film something, we'll have the Mavic, we'll have the FPV, and we'll fly them both depending on what shots we want, and then create our content and do it that way.
Eagle Eye says this is a sports car version, more fun than a Corolla. Yeah, I think you're
an analogy.
It's a very good analogy. I mean, I think it's no secret that I want one. I've ordered one. I pre-ordered it. The shop, my sort of local shop here, let me do it. Kind of hinted at the fact that it should be here on Wednesday. So yeah, I'm getting one. I want to play with it. The one thing we haven't seen, or at least correct me if I'm wrong, Henry, you might is how do you practice acro mode? Are DJI going to give us some kind of sim? Are they going to allow us to use that USB-C port on the controller to plug into our computer and control on a sim?
I have gotten nothing about that yet. I'm going to be interested to see what they come out with about that on launch day, because you're right that it starts off like a Mavic, but it does have this acro mode. Okay, it's a DJI acro mode, but I mean, I think the fact that the controller can switch between, you know, Mavic mode, if you like, or and FPV mode, that's quite cool. That is
very cool. That is really cool, because then you might not need your Mavic to come out at all from the backpack. You might just use the FPV for the entire thing, for the entire shoot. And I'm just going to post this comment. Ash over at joining.
Hey, Ash.
Ash.
The interesting thing is, I watched a video, and in that video, it comes with an Allen key. Now, I'm going to assume that the Allen key is used to get the show off, but all of the screws on there are the same.
They're the same.
So that Allen key, so DJI do supply a tool to open it up. So I'm going to assume that they are supplying a tool to allow you to repair it. But I think you're all right that one crash and it's going to have an issue, and there is concerns that people are going to flip it straight into acro mode and take it into a tree.
Yeah, so what's interesting is on Amazon, when we had all those crazy Amazon leaks, there was one of landing gear. So I'm pretty sure that was just replacement arms. And yeah, you're completely right. So I believe each of the arms comes off in like sections of, you know, like the arm is kind of connected to the side, the back arm, and you can kind of see how it comes off in the WinFuture leaks. You might be able to see it a little better. You can see it's just it's a whole chunk.
I wonder, Henry, if the arms come off, if there's like a little mini connector in there. So basically you unplug the arm for the motor, because it's just the motor is wired up to the rest of the fuselage inside the arm. So it's possible you could have the arms as removable and replaceable, and then just have a quick connect so that you could field repair. Although I imagine DJI parts won't exactly be like traditional FPV parts in price. And then who's going to be the first to 3D model these things? All the parts.
Boy, there is.
Oh, talk about a market opportunity.
Yeah, so you can just see how much of the drone, how much of the drone screws are, exposed, so that you can, take the sides off. Even on the heat sink, you can see there's 4 screws on the heat sink that allow you to just pop that off, which it's going to be interesting. And already, if you take the shell off, you can just take a look into the insides. So, and with the clear, black tinted shell that they give you, you'll be able to see inside, which is interesting, I think. So yeah, this is, these look like official images. This isn't, somebody going and taking photos. This looks like, DJI's getting ready for release and that sort of thing, which, brings me to the release date, which is March 2nd. And DJI has released, a bunch of teasers on it, which is interesting. I don't know if you guys want to talk about that, but yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, let's talk about the teasers, because they're epic. They're not as good as our intro today, but they're pretty good.
Definitely not. Yeah, so there's a couple actually, and it's kind of a little bit weird. I had to upload one quickly, unlisted to YouTube, because I couldn't find the original. It was in some weird country, and I don't know. But yeah, so there's 2 that DJI has posted on their Twitter. There's one that they've posted to their website, and there's one that I've posted to YouTube.
Hang on, I will. I'm just trying to find it now.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
So,
here we go.
Oh, they're killing me. They're killing me. I was like, I got to drink more. Actually, and this is just a Hollywood prop, by the way. It's just not what you think it is.
In any case,
anyway, yeah, this is unbelievably sick. That I know those guys are professional pilots, and Lord only knows how many FPV drones met their maker that particular filming event, but probably 20 or more went down like the General Lee and Dukes of Hazzard.
I mean,
but it's really, really good marketing. That is just ridiculously good.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I compared to remember the Sony drone that we were talking about. This thing just is
their marketing
so much
team is
cooler.
It's the coolest looking thing since the original Mavic Air. Here's the other one.
The lights, it's just.
I know, it's just
that's cool.
That
and example of like what the footage you're gonna get is just. Yeah, this is cinematic drone, and they're showing that here.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's the creative possibilities with this thing is what interests me. Now, look, I've heard a lot of over the last couple of weeks, because we've been discussing this. I've heard from a lot of FPV pilots, and I completely get what they're saying. But this drone is not for you. No offense, it's not. It's for the camera drone people like me and Chuck who use our drones not so much to fly for fun, but to create cinematic imagery or pictures and stuff. That's who this drone is for. And Ash over at Droning On's made a video, and he has a lot of valid points in it. You are going to get people that are going to buy this. They're going to switch into acro mode and immediately put it into the nearest tree, stroke car, stroke building, hopefully not person.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing all of these things, and I'm hearing all of these concerns, and perhaps they are correct, and perhaps they are valid. The launch day is going to be interesting, because I don't think DJI is a stupid company. I know that they're a company who want to make money, but they're not stupid. I wonder if you are able to switch this thing straight to acro mode. I know that the guys that they've sent this drone out to all the people, the YouTubers, their marketeers, and all the people that have made links, that has the acro mode enabled. But remember, DJI tend to send products out prior to launch that have don't have the launch firmware on it. You don't usually get launch firmware until launch day. Usually, you have to update your DJI product prior to doing anything with it.
And
I'm just wondering if
after that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they're going to lock out acro mode until you do something or pass something.
Ooh, that's interesting, Keith.
I'm just wondering, because I don't think that stupid. I genuinely don't. I know they're going to want to make money, and I know there's going to be crashes, and I know they're going to charge a freaking fortune for all the parts. I'm prepared for that. I'm going to fly it sensibly. The first flight I'm doing is going to be nowhere near trees. It's going to be over the beach. I'm not going to fly in acro mode. I just want to see what it's all about. I do want to be able to fly in FPV mode in order to capture that stuff. But who knows? I might really get into it and then start going into FPV drones and flying whoops and doing all of that kind of stuff. But at the moment, my whole focus is on what can I get out of this drone? What videography can I achieve from this? That's what I'm.
That's what I was thinking too, and I was even thinking that I have this claustrophobia issue with the goggles. I was thinking wearing something like, well, I got them right here. These things, the augmented reality glasses, and then I can see around me, and then still get. And I'm probably Ash is shaking his head like, what is this guy thinking? What is he thinking? Yeah, I know it's totally wrong, but for me, I want to do like what Keith wants to do. I mean, I'm going to try to fly my Mavic 2. Sorry, Keith. I'm going to try to fly my Mavic 2 like in cinematic FPV mode and see how it goes. But I have a feeling it's going to be too kind of wonky. It's not going to do what I want it to do like this one will.
Well, we know that it's going to have some form of acro mode. It isn't going to be a hack. It does have an acro mode of DJI.
It's an interesting one. According to sorry to interrupt, but
you're good.
It's actually detailed in the Get FPV leak. There's going to be 3 vanilla modes. There's going to be manual, which is their version of acro. There's going to be P normal mode, and then there's going to be sports. Now, the manual mode you can actually change so that the drone goes inverted and does all those flips and rolls and whatever. But that's if you go into the settings and change that sort of thing. So that is possible. You can fly it like a normal FPV drone, like upside down, or do rolls and that sort of stuff. It is possible according to the Get FPV leak. But are you really going to be doing that on this drone? Because it has a gimbal, a 2-axis gimbal, and we all know how well gimbals are, doing flips and rolls and that sort of stuff. Not great.
Well, it has rock steady as well, so that's gonna that's gonna help. Maybe it locks the. I don't know. Maybe it's gonna lock the gimbal, use rock steady, and then let you go in like the acrobatic mode.
I mean, I don't know if it's built for it, and I think there's a reason that their version of acro doesn't do that. I just don't think it's built for that exact type of thing. And
Ash is saying that the Get FPV leak states it isn't possible, not even via settings yet.
Oh wow! Okay.
But when you hear from the Kens, when they talked about flying this thing, they hinted at an acro mode. So I don't. Oh. Manual mode is not acro mode. Ash is completely correct in that. But
actually, let me read directly what Drone XL has quoted from Get FPV, and this is what I thought I saw the first time. In addition, manual mode will still limit the maximum attitude of the craft and prevent inverted maneuvers like flips and rolls. A separate goggle menu setting can remove this second attitude limiter and unlock the craft's full potential. DJI has provided a method to disable the automatic recentering on the radio controller, so on and so forth. I maybe I could be reading that wrong, but I think that's saying that it can unlock inverted stuff.
I'm actually saying, however, I suspect there will be a custom firmware for this to hack it and make it fly regular. It sounds like DJI are offering up their own authorized hack, effectively, by the sounds of it. I've heard from several people that have who are not under NDAs that have said that it has they're calling it a DJI form of it, and it does, you can do flips and things like that, but that's not what really, I mean, you look at the shape of this drone, you look at when it's like that and the battery's straight, those arms form perfect aerofoils. This thing is built to go in a straight line really fast.
Yeah.
And take it from I mean, I studied aerospace engineering at school, college. When you look at it at that angle, that thing is just going to go like
gangbusters.
Yeah,
say gangbusters. Yeah.
And it's just interesting. Look at how the shape of the arms, they are aerofoils.
Yeah, a lot of engineering goes into these things, and this is no exception. Even the Mavic 2 is quite aerodynamic. You know, you look at it in profile. I'll take one of them. Redundancy. That's like it's just the nose.
Interestingly, in creating that intro, flying that drone with a toy gun underneath it, not that easy.
I bet not. No.
Disabling all the sensors so that you can fly it with a toy gun underneath it, not that easy. Getting it to do anything on a windy day, not that easy.
Anybody who hasn't been over to the K-Spot channel, guys got to go check Keith's stuff out, because most of the time he's flying quite sane, and the man is lucky enough to live in paradise, so he has some pretty good footage. So when he gets this, and he's number one on the list to get the FPV drone in his locale, so this guy's gonna have some stuff kind of like Casey Neistat, like great background, but I actually think, no offense, Casey, but Keith flies better.
Thanks, man.
You vlog better. He flies better. That's just the water. That's just the water. That's not just the water talking.
I will invite you as soon as you're allowed to come. Believe me, we want people. We built like a spare guest bedroom and all sorts of things. Then 2020 happened. So it's been really annoying. But yes, by all means. I mean, we live in a very beautiful area, I have to admit. But I'm excited about it. It's a new toy. I like the idea of goggles. I completely get what everybody's saying, that this isn't FPV, but the rumor is, and we'll find out for sure on Tuesday, that both the goggles and the controller will work with a new DJI Air unit, which is about to be released, or will work with current units. That's rumored, but we don't know. But we know the goggles work with another thing. So who knows? I'll get this and have so much fun and go, oh, I really want to get into proper FPV. But that's the thing. You know, it's finding the time to do all of the stuff that you have to do with FPV, i.e. tinkering and playing with all the settings to get it set up the way you want it, having to do all the soldering and stuff because you get into building your own stuff. And of course, you're inevitably going to crash them. So you're going to need to learn how to repair them. I'd love to do that, but I don't know if my marriage would survive because I'd be in here forever going tinkering. I mean, I spent 3 days in there just coming up with this intro. She has not seen me 3 days because I've been trying to work out how to do all of that stuff in Final Cut Pro. We got there in there.
I saw my old camera on the nose of that Mavic 2. Made me proud. Keith.
Yeah.
Keith, to anybody who hasn't figured it out, Keith and I talked about the concept, but Keith is where the rubber meets the road. He created that intro, and his lovely wife Lem was kind enough to help us out. Yeah, it's spectacular.
It was we Chuck saw the episode number. This is why we're all in shirts.
It was. I was like, oh my god, it's 007. We have to do something, and then it all
came together.
It all came together. I mean, it's like, but and this is kind of fun because the whole FPV drone thing. That's kind of a little bit of it's a mystery kind of thing too, and suspense, and It's a
I
gadget.
think
It fits the whole Bond thing, except it doesn't get
think-
chicks. Maybe you got to work on that.
I think there's still going to be some surprises on Tuesday. That I don't think we've seen everything. I mean, the other thing that's just recently obviously came out, which I don't know how this is going to work, and I'm intrigued by this, and that's that.
Oh yeah, that's
And,
the Osmo Mobile 2 that the gimbal snapped off, and let's turn it into a remote control.
Yeah, that's
Well, that's the first
exactly
thing
what
when I
looks
saw
like.
it. I was like, yeah, that's what. So they borrowed some of their really good ideas before because it's so comfortable to hold, and said, let's turn it into a joystick.
But it's
is
going
pretty
to
cool.
be motion. I mean, if
I
you're
don't
not
know
going
how
to
I
crush,
feel about it.
But it has the
I don't
buttons
know
to
how I
like
feel.
move the drone instead of a gimbal on your phone, move
but
your.
what's
your
the
phone on
trigger
the
for?
gimbal.
I mean,
Throttle.
Is it going to have? Yeah, okay.
How do you go
Throttle.
backwards?
You tilt it back, or maybe use the throttle and
wait,
the joystick.
wait.
That thing is gonna be cool, man. That's gonna be cool.
Well, I don't think we really know how it's gonna work yet. I
just
see a
know it's
little.
gonna be epic.
I mean, I see a
tease,
little
but-
Joy-Con on it. I don't know what that would be used for. There's a red button, and then there's another what looks like.
I think the
joystick.
red button is either the control button or the the O button that we know it has on the controller, where if you're in manual mode and you're about to go into a tree, you can hit that button and it will just stop in midair. Ken
like
Heron talked about that.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it a little bit too, where maybe not on this show yet, but it's like brakes on a car. Okay, every vehicle has brakes, but
So
there's still a lot of accidents because it takes you time to react. Like, and then move
I'm
your
in
foot to the
trouble.
brake pedal or hit the stop button on this thing, or whatever. That there's a period of time, and meanwhile the drone's still in motion. People, it's traveling fast. So you're
God.
kind of I don't no. It's not gonna. You better be flying with some brains, or else.
Yes, go on.
Sticking.
Ash's comment is brilliant.
Oh my God! Yeah. Red button is the emergency eject, which automatically dials your insurance company for the damage you're about to cause.
Does that dial
Yeah.
911
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
See, I was going to refer to it as
Better
the
call
oh
the
shit button,
paramedics.
but,
Yeah.
Hello, this is
Better call the
OnStar.
paramedics.
We see you crashed your drone. What is your location?
And it sends
Are
the
you
location
okay?
of your drone to them. Yeah.
look,
Can we wire you money to get it fixed?
I mean,
Oh my God, it's great.
Ash up here. On a more serious note, he did say the goggles can be very uncomfortable and for some motion sickness. Yeah, I'm aware of it. I've used the PS5 VR, and sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. The other things to be aware of is, for whatever reason, the V2 goggles still have the same foam that the V1 goggles have come. Now, a lot of pilots, FPV guys that have bought the DJI system, immediately replaced the foam on the goggles because it's really uncomfortable. I've already ordered that. I've also ordered myself a custom strap for them with Spider-Man on it because
of course.
and I've got stickers on the front again with Spider-Man because Spider-Man.
Of course.
And I was very jealous earlier. Ash posted some pictures of his son in Spider-Man get-up, and I was like, I want that. I want that gear. I want it. I've got like several. No, I know. I've got several Spider-Man t-shirts, but every time I wear them, my wife's just like, I don't know this guy.
As long as you're not wearing the tights, we're okay.
For instance, the only reason she let me have a sofa in my office is because she could get rid of the pillow that I insisted was sat on our sofa in the living room.
I was just saying it might not fit.
It might not fit.
Yeah, Keith, we are not doing any kind of Robin Hood Men in Tights thing on 2K drones unless Keith and I both spend an awful lot of time in the gym.
Yes.
Henry's closer. Maybe he'll do it, but no.
We'll see.
But as I said, I have ordered this. I know what I'm getting myself in for. I know that it's expensive. I know that there is a possibility I might crash it. And if it does, it does.
Possibility.
There's a high probability that it will be damaged. But Keith, if we do end up crossing paths in Scotland later this year, you best have that thing in working order when we go to the Highlands, man.
Oh, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be careful with it. I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to flying stuff, and I don't go near things. I tend to try and look after my drones because I know when it hit, I had that sort of hitting something in midair and it falling out the air. Look at all the trouble I had to go to, and thanks to you fixing up my drone. So I'm going to treat this with kid gloves. I'm hoping that they're going to release a sim for the manual mode. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see what they're going to do, but it's definitely exciting. Tuesday is the day.
I think I see a video coming from Keith in the near future on the K-Spot that's going to be like DJI FPV flying 101, just things to be careful with, kind of ease everybody into it before you get carried away, feeling out where to fly safely. I just see this whole video coming from you, man.
Well, I mean, luckily I'm going to no, you're not. I mean, you're exactly on the money. I mean, I'm going in a couple of weeks. It's my 5th wedding anniversary, so we are allowed to travel internally again here. So we're going to an island where there'll be some cool shots of flying along the beach, really quickly. So I'm looking forward to that. And they're deserted beaches, not with many people on it. We know a spot where there's about 2 miles of beach that no one bothers going to because it's a good hour of driving and then some off-road stuff to get to it. And not many people come to the island with the car that we've got. So looking forward to playing with it.
A lot of people are talking about the Care refresh. And I remember there being a Adorama, posting for it that, they leaked by accident. Give me a second to find it. But Ash said something interesting. And he said that, when you flip it into manual mode, it voids your your refresh or it voids your refresh.
They have like a tip and tell on it. Well, that's what they call it in the HVAC business. It's called a tip and tell when you tip the units too far. Anyway, so they'll know when it inverted, and then you're done. But how are they going to prove it? What if it inverted? They'll look at the flight records.
But this has been issues with DJI before where they've turned down Care refresh because they claim that the drone's inverted. It's had an issue with the IMU.
I would not count on Care refresh to pick up the pieces when you crash, because just my personal experience with DJI has been far less than satisfactory when I reach out to them for assistance ever. I mean, on the cheapest accessory, they basically told me to pound salt, and because it broke and it was a little piece of plastic that failed. Anyhow, don't count on that. I mean, I count on being able to get parts and fix it yourself.
I have the price for it. It is, according to Adorama, it is $249 US for the. Oh nope, that's not right. My bad. Let's hold on. Let me get my archived picture of it. Okay, it's $319 for 2 years.
I'd say use the $319 and buy a couple, buy an extra gimbal and a couple of arms.
Here's the thing: DJI Care refresh doesn't cover in Thailand. So the dealer hasn't yet told me how much it's going to be here. But based upon the last,
hold on, yeah, Keith, redundancy.
Yeah. He's got 5 backup drones.
Maybe not 5 backup drones this time, Ash, but just like parts. Nah, backup drone's always best. Just bust out the backup drone. That's always go to the backup drone.
My trusty old Zoom 2 is now my backup drone. I have to admit, I've switched to the Air 2. I love the Air 2. I just think it's such an awesome little drone. I am seriously trying to look at converting the zoom into the Pro just to make it useful again. It's just such an awesome little drone.
Well,
And I
quickie
love
shout
my
out to
smart
Adrian.
controller.
Just a quickie shout out to Adrian, man.
Hey, Adrian. How you doing, buddy?
Thanks for stopping in, man. By the way, Adrian's channel is pretty cool. He experimented with trying to fly a Spark FPV. It was a little rough looking, I think. But I'm glad he tried it. It's kind of it's inspired me to try my Mavic 2 this weekend. But I think what I'm going to try to do is be more like swoopy do like the S shapes, like these other guys have said to do, and keep the horizon visible. But you need a lot of room to do it, and like I can't do it in my neighborhood. I don't have enough space to do it. I'll have to go find some wide open space and give it a whirl. But I think that'll be the key with a Mavic anyway, is to have a lot of room and be able to do like you got to turn left, yaw left, yaw right, or kind of,
I've got permission to fly in the field next door, because I don't know. There's a video on my channel where I show you how to use waypoints to do a pullback shot. Not like Ash, who can actually do pullback shots. Takes a lot. See, again, I wouldn't have done what Ash did, and I bow to Ash for his.
Oh my god, yeah, it's
awesome.
like that's the most awesome pullback ever.
Well, I cheated, and I show you how to do it. But that field's got a few palm trees in it, and a few things in there. So I was thinking about taking it in there, but honestly, I'm not going to do it day one, because I know I'd be sod's law. I'll crash the damn thing. So I'm really going to be very, very careful.
How are you going to do a pullback with an FPV drone? You have forward face camera. You can't see the drone yourself.
Don't do a pullback. You've got that on. You can't do a pullback.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm
birds don't fly backwards, right? That's the excuse.
Yeah, exactly. I am looking forward to it. I am, but as I said, I think there's going to be a few surprises on Tuesday. I don't think we've seen everything, and of course, there's going to be all the videos from the top YouTubers who've already got this thing. Take what they say with a pinch of salt. Watch my videos. I'll be honest.
I am going to. I'll watch the early stuff. I'll watch the early stuff.
I'll be watching.
They'll probably get my money regardless, so I'll watch the early stuff, and then the guys.
I'll be honest.
I'll be watching your stuff because I want to know.
I'll be honest about it. I mean, I'm quite prepared to that I might be disappointed, but I know I'll be able to sell it. I might lose some money if it's really bad, but I don't think it's going to be really bad, because I've never disliked anything from DJI. I mean, I've had issues with a few DJI products, the DJI Mavic Air. We've spoken about that before, but for the most part, in the recent years, everything I've bought from DJI, I love. I love my Osmo Pocket 2. It's awesome. I like it. To me, it's greatly improved over the Osmo One, just for the do-it-all handle, because it just gives you that extra bit of room to think. So, and I love the Mavic Air 2. I think it's an awesome drone. So yeah, but we'll be somewhere on Tuesday talking about this. Or some of us will be. Yes, right. Moving on, we're going to talk about this topic. I did a really brief video about this the day after.
You should show the intro.
The landing happened,
or not, but it's really good too. Sorry, Keith.
But NASA, latest probe rover to Mars, Perseverance, has a sneaky little thing in her belly. Ingenuity is effectively a drone. Now, it looks like a helicopter, but because it's unmanned, it's a drone. Somebody commented on my YouTube channel that I didn't know the difference between a drone and a helicopter. Yes, I do. It's a drone. Even NASA classify it as a drone.
Yeah, I clarified that pretty quick, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
That's not gonna let you. I wasn't gonna let you take that kind of crap. That's like, it's an unmanned aerial system.
Yes, but
unless there's somebody in that spacecraft that's flying it with a string.
But I pointed this out on the video, but you might be able to tell that I kind of like space stuff.
Yeah,
there's a great big rocket there, which I love, by the way. It's awesome, that thing.
Saturn V, man.
Oh, it's so cool. It even comes apart in all the stages. It is the
Oh,
coolest thing in the
You
world.
have the Lego version of it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Did you do a
Hell
video
yeah.
on building that thing, Keith?
No, I should have done. Really, it took me 3
No,
days.
you
All right, well, you know what?
totally
It's just throw it against the wall and start over.
Yeah.
No,
Do a
no,
video.
no! I did that. I did that like in the second week of having it. I dropped something down there, and I thought, oh, I went over there, and I caught it with my arm, and the whole thing went down. It just went like that.
Perfect.
Like, oh,
So get the slow motion camera out and destroy it, and then
no, it's not. It's,
put it all
mate,
together.
It's not like the old Lego kits where you could just sit there. This thing is. I mean, seriously, it is properly engineered. It is. If you do not build it in exactly the right, and some of the way the pieces are, it's not like no Lego kit I've built before. Because of all the side panels and stuff like that, the way they put this thing together, it's precision engineered. It really is. It's awesome, and I love it. But anyway, NASA have put a drone on Mars, and it's interesting because actually a lot of the tech that is in this drone you find in your Mavics and things like that. It's got IMU, very similar to that of a Mavic. It has other positioning sensors that are very similar to the Mavic. It doesn't have a compass because I had quite a few funny comments on Facebook and YouTube on my video as well. People going, "Oh, be careful! You might have to calibrate the compass and things like that." And they were all very funny. But interestingly, no compass on it because Mars doesn't have a north. Did you know that?
No magnetic north.
No magnetic north. But interestingly, right?
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
But even more interestingly, get this. You would think, right, this being NASA and the fact that this thing costs $23 million to make, that it would use some really, really sophisticated communication to talk to Perseverance. You know, it'd be like this multi-million pound communication system. Now it uses Zigbee, the same as those light bulbs. No word of a lie. It uses Zigbee.
I know it's not drone related, but we should really talk about some home automation stuff some point because everything in the Americas here pretty much in the home is Z-Wave, which is the sister mesh network to Z-Wave. But let's not go there today. But it is really cool that they're using something as basic as that. And I think you mentioned Linux too. Linux.
Yes, it runs on Linux.
Yeah,
it runs on Linux. It uses Zigbee to communicate with Perseverance, which is the rover. Interestingly, it weighs less. It weighs about twice as a Mavic, but the battery's only about 90% of a Mavic. It's only designed to fly for 1.5 minutes, and it will take all day to charge it. In fact, 2/3 of the power of the battery goes into just keeping the internals warm, because on Mars it's a bit cold.
You thinking this box down here, that big majority of that
it's insulated. It has
batteries?
a gas in it. Yeah, it's basically the batteries are. Do you remember like the old sort of Mac Pro, the dustbin version of the Mac Pro? That's how it's kind of constructed inside, and the fact that the boards are around the batteries, which are in the center, and there's gas in there, which is then heated constantly by the batteries to keep everything at a certain temperature so it can operate. Those propellers spin at 70% of the speed of sound. That is 5 times faster than a standard helicopter on Earth.
They're carbon fiber, aren't they? Look at that. And it
won't fly on Earth. This thing won't take off in Earth. They had to stick this thing in a vacuum chamber just to check that it would fly. And then they had to have a rope which was pulling it to simulate gravity. So they had a rope that was helping to pull it up.
Wait. Wow, how does a vacuum get rid of the acceleration due to gravity of 32.2?
It doesn't. So what they did was they put a rope on it, and they calculated
9.8 meters per second squared.
They calculated exactly how much tension to put on that rope that would simulate the 38% gravity of Earth. So they pull it up slightly. So they are 99.9% sure this thing will fly on Mars. But they can't be 100% sure.
I mean, this is pretty smart people, but stuff goes wrong.
Yeah, I just look at the technology though. I mean, look how their controls on the props, and that stuff is just. I wish I could zoom in more. That stuff.
Yeah,
cool.
Interestingly,
that's as close as I can get. That is just
on one of NASA's videos, they tried to remote pilot it and they can't. Because of the way those things work and requiring the micro precision, they even got an FPV pilot, like one of these FPV world champion guys, in to try and fly. One of the people that is used to very fine adjustment couldn't fly this thing.
I can imagine the props being that fast. It's got to be so.
It has to be flown by the computers on board using IMU sensors, among other. It's got, I think it's got like 4 or 5 gyros on it that are constantly checking. But even so, the takeoff, when you watch it taking off in the vacuum chamber, it's still a bit sort of. It still sort of flutters around a bit. But I just think this is the coolest thing. I know that. It's only going to fly for 90 seconds. And, I think the most we're going to see is a few sort of selfies or shots of Perseverance and Perseverance taking a shot of it. But it's not so much what this one will do. This is kind of like proving that the technology will work. And if it does, damn well that NASA are going to send something much cooler, much bigger back there. And within, before we even land people on Mars, which is still 15, 20 years off. You're a lucky man, Henry, by the way.
Yeah, I know. We don't.
Yeah.
Yep, you are. You should get to experience it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be cool. I mean, I'm just blown away by it. I love the fact that, we are the Americans and a lot of other people in SpaceX are getting back into this thing. I mean, I work for a company that are all space geeks. I mean, the message board, every time that SpaceX has a Starship test flight, it's streamed on our teams. It's just like, guys, it's on. Everybody stops working, and we watch the test flight of the Starships because it's cool. And I just say drones on Mars. It's awesome. But it was just interesting learning about this thing and looking at how much tech that's incorporated into this thing has actually come from the consumer drone market, and the technology that's using to level it and things like that is just an extension of what's out there. I mean, NASA have had to develop stuff, but they based it very much on consumer drone tech.
No, I don't know. Actually, I think consumer drone tech relies on space technology because these guys have been managing to control rocket ships for over 50 years.
Did you?
So I mean, all the internal controls and stuff have been miniaturized and shrunk down. Now that's incredible in its own right. But seriously, Keith, I mean, everything we have with drones came from the flight control systems from Apollo and stuff. It's all, I think, anyway. But
yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah,
I think you will go. I think you will experience some form of space travel in your lifetime. I mean, you look at what there's a UK company working on the Sabre engine, which is effectively an air-breathing. It's an air-breathing rocket. So basically, it's a jet engine in atmosphere and a rocket in space, and it's intended to put on a commercial passenger jet that can fly from London to Sydney in 3 hours.
Wow.
So it will circumnavigate the Earth in less than 5, and this thing will be tested within the next 5 to 10 years on an actual craft. I mean, it's incredible. It's a really exciting time again in space exploration, and with the Moon Gateway station being built and NASA going back to the moon. Probably in 2025 because the failure they had with their rocket system, the SLS, earlier on this year. I think it's going to be slightly delayed, but we're going back to the moon and it's going to be cool. And now we've got 4K cameras that can stream from the moon to the Earth. It's going to be
just awesome, man. The whole thing is just freaking awesome.
Yeah, the amount of high definition photos and 4K videos of the Mars landing is just crazy. I don't know if you guys saw the actual landing.
The crane
that just blew my mind. Like
the shots, the multiple angles of the crane.
It was
watching
crazy.
that crane. I've seen the animations of it, but then NASA released this video where you actually see it. I'm just like,
That's
wow.
actual. You look at that and you're like, that's actual video. That actually happened. Like
Yeah,
it's
badass.
it's crazy.
It's mind blowing.
It's
Yeah,
so
mind-blowing.
sick.
It is. And I'm
So we've got about
really
a month,
excited about
right? I think that the schedule
I
is
think-
about a month out when they're supposed to actually take flight. There are a couple of, I found a live stream. Well, I think it was a sham live stream, but there was a live stream out on YouTube. It was supposed to be showing like the launch was coming up in like 5 minutes or something. It would count down and it would start over again. But yeah, I
think it was about a month. I think it was about a month after landing. They've got to do a few things with testing with Perseverance and getting Perseverance up to. Because I mean, here's another thing for you: when Perseverance lands on the moon, on Mars, it's not a rover. It's a space vehicle. It doesn't know how to be a rover. They have to patch the firmware completely when that thing lands and update it so that it can become a rover and know what it's doing. But when it lands, it's a spacecraft. Doesn't even know that it's a rover. They literally have to do a software update. Now I know how difficult it is doing software updates from Thailand.
God.
Can you imagine doing a freaking patch update?
God,
Actually appreciate this
Mars.
to Mars.
Oh my God.
That's pretty awesome.
Sorry,
I mean-
my server update has crashed.
Yeah. Like God,
Yeah.
imagine that.
Yeah, how do you self-repair something that goes kind of belly up on Mars?
Yeah, I mean the software update better work.
Oh, it has done. But it takes about 7 days to do it, to transmit it, and get it all across. That's why for like the first 7
man.
days it was landed, it doesn't even move because
How-
it doesn't know how to.
How the packets of data get there without becoming corrupted and everything?
Well,
know
I mean, since
Right?
the
Because
That's
since
what I was gonna say.
Curiosity-
Like what? How does not only how do they get like perfect quality 4K photos and videos back to here, but how are they going to get super precise software updates to there?
yeah.
Like
How are you going to get an application program like
It's
beamed
another
in the
planet.
space and not have it get corrupted? Because look what happens just on our crappy FiOS connections and stuff. It's like
I know.
just,
Well,
I'm just.
I mean, we have
smart.
wired connections and that stuff breaks.
Yeah, my mind is blown. It's so cool.
Since Curiosity landed, the NASA's Deep Space Network.
Oh
has got-
no!
has
Wait!
got
Here we
somewhat
go.
Better.
The conspiracy theorists at work.
Oh my God.
Capcom. What was the name of the film? What was the name of the film about the fake Mars landing? Capcom 7 or something. There was a film that was made about a fake Mars landing, but it was very much hinting that the moon landings were fake. They are not. I have seen Eagle with my. You can see it through a very, very high-powered telescope a few years back when I was.
I did. I actually did
hmm.
see. Yeah. I have a neighbor, and he's into taking pictures of the moon and that sort of stuff. And he has a super great zoom lens. Yeah, you can actually see the stuff on the moon. It's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
And to think they didn't just put something on the moon, something you can see every night. When you go outside and take a look at Mars, it's this teeny tiny little speck in the sky. It's just it's crazy to me to think that there's a rover up there that's just sending back 4K video. It blows my mind.
Capcom 1, that was it. Thank you, Aerosnapper. Thank you. Yes, it was quite a good film, actually. Actually, it's a projection. Oh, honest God, yeah, the moon is a projection. The Earth is flat. Yes,
Oh,
we
there we
know.
go. Wait, I don't have my tinfoil in here. I can't
Flat
tinfoil.
Earth.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, before we go on to our next topic, I just wanted to respond to this. Have you guys talked about the controversy linked to the DJI being added to the US blacklist? I'm a little late to the stream. Yeah, we did a couple of streams ago when it actually happened. We're still waiting to see what happens now that the US is under new administration. Don't know.
I think
Doesn't
they're
affect me.
We might
Yeah.
we might carry on here for a while. We'll see what happens. Hope not.
Yeah.
But
I've heard there are no plans. We don't want to get into that particular.
Damn
topic.
right. What
Yeah.
do you mean?
Yeah, what do you
Man,
mean?
Jimmy
What do you
does
mean?
exist.
What?
What?
But
Well, there was a question that he didn't.
Huh?
Who the hell am I?
I've got his
making
hat.
Spies
He
do all these
insists.
years.
see, got his hat.
So does the tooth fairy. God damn it! I get 50p's out every time my wife gives me. Right. So
Don't
we've got
you
one
dare
more.
let that little kid holding the little Lightning McQueen thing find out what you're saying, Dad.
We've got one more topic to cover that we've that Chuck found, which is actually quite interesting, and that is drone usage in Hollywood. Because actually, one of the first, I'll let you go for it, but one of the first films that drones was used in, Chuck.
Yeah, believe it or not, was Skyfall. And do we have I have a clip. I love this clip. Hold on, I must share this clip. It's just too. Let me see if I could. Am I sharing it? No.
Share it with the audio.
All right, hold on. I screwed it up. Don't no dead airspace. Darn it! I'll share with audio. We'll get this. I can't see through my camera. Everything's buried. This is a bad studio. Okay, here we go. You guys see it now?
Yeah.
This scene is just epic. That's a drone. That's a drone.
Where are they now?
They appear to be on the rooftops of the Grand Bazaar.
And a drone. Oh, it's handheld.
Wow.
That's a drone.
And drone. It's just like it's this, and this is from like a 2013, 2012-ish.
Yes,
So
Skyfall.
9 years ago.
Skyfall was 9 years ago, and do you know it's the highest grossing Bond movie of all time? Did over $1 billion.
Actually, you know, drones aside, the cinematography in this is just freaking amazing, man.
But
just amazing.
I mean,
It's
if you know, I'm going to quit it there just in case we get copyrighted.
Yeah, kill it.
But I know Bond films. I mean, you might have been able to tell if you had been here from the beginning of the stream, you would have seen the intro. I am a huge Bond fan, so when Chuck came up with this idea, as much as I jokingly complained about it, I've actually had a hell of a lot of fun doing this. Because I'm a massive Bond fan. I have been since I was a little kid. My dad used to watch the Bond films, and I know quite a bit about Bond films. And Bond's always been at the forefront of cinematography. It helped develop microlight technology. I think it was You Only Live Twice, if I remember rightly. The one with the one that we will. Yeah,
I hate James Bond. I hate him.
But there was a mini helicopter, that single manned helicopter where Bond gets on it and flies it all around. That was developed for that movie, and out of that came other tech and stuff like that. So cinematography in Bond has always been a thing. They've always gone for those big epic shots, and it's no surprising that they switched to drones. I mean, drone usage now is especially in Hollywood, and more importantly, I mean, the BBC, whose Natural History Unit is
by the way,
one of the one of the it's highly regarded in the world. If they are probably at the forefront of natural history and that kind of shooting. They've been pioneering drones for quite a while now. I mean, their very first sort of amazing series where they got snow leopards on camera and stuff was called Planet Earth, and at that point they were using a helicopter with a very high powered HD camera. It's the first time they'd ever shot anything in HD, but very quickly they went from helicopters to drones.
Well, Runaway in 1984 apparently was like that was the first movie where he used a remote control helicopter.
Yes.
So
like, they were using remote control helicopters, which are your first drones, if you like. I mean,
they were horrible to fly. Those things were hard as hell to fly. I remember I wanted one, and it was like everybody said, "Don't do it. They're super expensive and they crash really, really easy."
They're not easy. They're not easy to fly.
Not like today. Everything's in ADI mode.
Okay, not a helicopter. It was a gyrocopter. Yes, I apologize. And it was. I thought it was Only Lives Twice.
Oh
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Little Nelly.
Well, we should know Arrow Snapper is our aeronautical expert. I mean, he's
piloted by Ken Wallace. Yes. He comes back. I haven't seen because I haven't got all. I've got all of the blue. I had all the Dovdas, the DVDs. Then I replaced them with the Blu-rays. But I haven't got them here. But I intend to get them here because actually, having done all this, it's like I want to watch Bond. I want to watch a Bond movie. I want to go through the collection again because it's been a while. I'll even watch on His Majesty's Secret Service because it's still okay. It's a Bond film, even if it is, George Lazenby, but it was still a reasonable film. And in actual fact, it was the one where Bond married, and Diana Rigg, funny enough, and then she got killed. But then the next movie, he drops Blofeld down a chimney. Funny enough, in London, that was shot, and that was the helicopter. Hooks up Blofeld on his wheelchair and drops him down. I think actually no, it wasn't the next movie because Diamonds Forever was the last Connery movie because Connery came back. But yes, Casino Royale, I think, is probably one of the best of the Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig's Bond movies go good, bad, good, not so great. So hopefully the next one, which is his last one, will be good. Because Casino Royale, Skyfall, really good. Quantum of Solace, Spectre,
yeah.
But Keith, your addiction is showing. Yes. I might like Bond shows. But I mean, drone usage in Hollywood and dramas is becoming quite profound now. I mean, I watched something called The Expanse, which is moved from Sci-Fi Channel to Amazon. The first 3 seasons were very much not the highest budget. They did a really, really good with what they want. But the 4th season, they suddenly got Amazon budget. It was planet-based. And they went and did all these amazing cinematography shots in Iceland because this planet they landed on, they used Iceland because obviously it looks a bit alien. And they had all these amazing drone shots. And I remember switching from sci-fi geeks going, that's a drone shot, that's a drone shot, that's a drone shot, that's an awesome drone shot. I'm going to try that drone shot.
Well, you can in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, less than a week, maybe.
I'm hoping it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday because they've already got it. They've got it. He has as much as admitted to having it because it was like initially the conversation went like this. Hi, I know that DJI are releasing their FPV drone next week. I'd like to put a deposit down because I want one. What FPV drone? DJI don't make an FPV drone. Really? It was my line back. I was like, we don't know what you're talking about, sir. It's like, again, really? Can I please put a deposit down? I really want one. You know who I am. You know that I know that it's real. You can't really hide all the links. There's been an unboxing video. Okay, yes, sir. There is going to be an FPV drone. Can I put a deposit down? Okay, sir. Yes, pay this amount of money. Okay, have you got one yet? We can't tell you that, sir. So you've got one then? Yes.
Yeah.
The guy at this shop, the boss, who was obviously speaks really good English, and because of all the trouble I had with the Mavic Air, they know me quite well now. So it was kind of like this, what are you talking about, kind of thing. Come on. They know I've got a YouTube channel, and they know that I won't tell the name of the store, but yes, they have admitted that they've got one, and he loves it. So he loves it. He hasn't given me much detail on it because he knows that I do this. So he won't. I suspect, but they've got. Funny enough, theirs has got display model written on it as well, just like that. Zach's channel that did that. Yeah. They're putting those out. So apparently it wasn't a thing. It was Canada. I thought it was Iceland. You sure about that? But yes. Anyway, so that was my thing for drones in Hollywood. That I just remember how cool The Expanse looked. Season 4, you suddenly knew that they got the Amazon budget because they had all this amazing cinematography in it, and it was really cool. But interesting that Bond was one of the first to use real sort of drones. It's pretty cool.
Apropos, in my opinion. It's perfect. I like that. I wonder how many movies that we all watch that drones are used, and it's so cleverly filmed that you don't really know or you don't think about it. I mean, some stuff's pretty obvious, like those Bond shots they're obvious, but what about the like pullback shots from like an apartment window and things like that where you don't even think about it? It's like, you know what I mean? It's a pullback shot from like what was it The Working Girl, whatever. They're right in there and they pull back and show that kind of stuff. It's like those things.
It is funny. Ever since I got sort of really back into droning, as in doing the sort of cinema stuff, I spot them all the time now. That's a drone, you know. And the Thai media here, they use a lot of drones, and it's all Mavics. But it's really, they're not the greatest pilots. It's like they show you awkward movements and everything. Whereas you watch something like, I mean, if you're one of these people that's got Apple TV, there is not a lot on Apple TV Plus. But there is the Long Way Up, which is the third bike adventure with Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman. And it was interesting watching them in this one because they had Osmo Pockets. All of their stuff was shot on Osmo Pockets. But all of the drone stuff, and it looked really, really good, was a Mavic 2 Pro because they showed behind the scenes of him flying this, because they had to carry everything on the bikes. So they had 3 bikes, and for a lot of the time they were on their own in like the middle of freaking nowhere in Argentina and places like in Chile and places like that. And they had to carry all this stuff, so they took the thing. But some of the drone shots in that, and you know, there's people go, "Oh, they must have been using an Inspire." No, it's just the Mavic 2 Pro flown properly and edited properly and colored properly. But that it was, you know, drones like the Mavic 2 Pro can produce broadcast stuff. And as I said, the Thai media use a Mavic 2 Pro here a lot. There's a lot of sort of stuff where they're flying over people's lands, and then you see them and you know what the drone is because they suddenly you'll get a shot of the guy flying the drone. You see the Mavic 2 controller. But drones are becoming very prevalent in Hollywood. I think that's why Sony are going after that market first, you know, with the Aeropeat. That's why they're targeting them before they're getting into the sort of consumer market, because I think it's on the rise. It's on the rise. I see things are going on in the comments. What's happening?
I'm just sharing channels.
He's sharing.
I'm just sharing the channels, man.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But yes, so look out for notifications on my channel about where we'll be live streaming the launch on Tuesday. I'll post an update on my channel. I'm sure Henry will. Chuck's going to possibly make it, not sure, depends on what time it is. But we will be doing something somewhere at some point.
Yes.
On the Tuesday. So yes, DJI FPV, and then hopefully, touch wood, a couple of days later, I will hopefully have one in my hands. I will try and post some footage almost immediately from it.
He's gonna have a sick day coming up, I can tell.
Oh yeah. Especially after this week, because my
some kind of fever. I think drone fever.
I have a junior. Now, if you're in the UK and you're in the IT industry and read the register, you might have heard of something called the Bastard Operator from Hell. I have a PFY, and that stands for Pimply Faced Youth. Well, my PFY went on holiday for a week, so I had to talk to people this week and deal with that. My mouse is not working. I've had that always. Like, no, I'm done. Right, next week I'm going to go and fly drones. I'm going to be sick. No, you know, he's back. He can deal with all the inmain things. That's what he's there for. So I don't have to deal with that anymore. I spent the first 20 years of my career dealing with my computer don't work. So yes. I'm pretty much done. Anything else that we would like to cover?
I think we did a really good overview of the FPV drone today.
Oh yeah,
As always.
Mars is just super cool, and there's more of that coming because probably.
But I think that was largely to our resident newsman. So Henry.
Yeah, thank you, Henry.
Yeah.
Dude,
Thank you guys for having me on.
you're right on top of this stuff. I see he's streaming all the time at all odd hours. He'll pop up, and I usually have to catch him afterwards.
Seriously, dude. Thank you. I have to say, almost every video you do, you shout us out, and it's much appreciated.
It's really awesome.
You don't have to do it, dude, and it's much appreciated. So thank you, buddy.
Well, everybody on the whole,
thank you.
the droning on community is big and strong anyway,
yeah.
and it's really cool that
It's if you haven't
we all
checked
met this way.
check
out
out
Droning On. Yeah.
If you
check it
haven't
out.
check out
Ashley's back from a small hiatus and making videos again. There's a couple of interesting videos and his take on the whole FPV drone thing, which that makes a lot of sense. Look, I'm as I said at the beginning of this video, I am going in with my eyes wide open on this. I know that it might be a very expensive mistake, but on the other hand, I'm doing it partly because I want to make some videos on it. I want to try and get my channel up a bit, but I'm also going into it to try something different. This is the first time that DJI has released something a bit different in the droning sort of community, and I'm interested in it. I genuinely, and the thing just looks cool.
Cool. The startup sound is just ridiculously cool.
The startup on this thing, the light—it's a freaking light show just starting up. I mean, I'm sorry, the Mavic just goes blink, blink. This thing's like a silent.
It's
It's for gamers.
It's style things. I'm half expect. If I start this thing up and it goes to me, "Hello, Michael," like that, it's like that's it.
It's crazy that startup. I think is they didn't have to do that, but the fact that they did is just
it's a total departure from anything they've done. So the startup sound is also a total departure from anything they've ever done.
Having been brought up on Sunday afternoon Night Rider, and if it wasn't Night Rider, it was Battlestar Galactica, the sort of zoom, zoom, zoom red light thing either scares me or I think is the coolest thing in the world, depending on which one it is. I mean, I watched old school Battlestar now, and it looks really cheesy. But back then, those silver dudes with the freaking red lights going by your command to a 4-year-old was bloody scary.
Was it Aaron? What was her last name? Aaron.
Which are we talking about?
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica and her little spandex.
No,
no.
Oh no, that was Buck Rogers.
Well, that was Buck Rogers. You're right.
Yeah, there were a couple of good-looking ladies in Battlestar. There was.
I can't cover Henry's eyes or ears, but yeah, the blood has to leave the brain for certain things like that when you're like adolescent, pre-adolescent. Yeah. So you just kind of go.
I'm surprised.
Okay. Anyway, continue.
Okay,
there's
then.
There's a replay of the intro for later.
Completely skipped over it. Okay.
Just edit that out later. Just edit that out.
Anyway, I think again I've noticed there's been quite a lot of people watching, so thank you for joining in. Thank you so much for all the comments. If you missed the beginning of this, go back and watch it.
Yeah, watch the beginning.
Watch the intro.
Watch the intro.
It'll make you understand why he's sitting behind a James Bond background. We've all got bow ties on.
Some of
Henry
us
again. Love the bow. Yeah.
And this.
I should have thought about. I love that.
But
anyway, guys.
See the ejector top.
Yes, it's so cool.
Bullet shield.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you in a couple of days, hopefully, somewhere. We'll keep a lookout on our community posts on YouTube, and we'll let you know where we're all going to be. But we'll speak to you then, guys. But for now, thank you for watching. Would you all like to say goodbye? Oh, before we go, Henry, plug your channel.
Okay, so yeah, my channel name is Henry Robotic Club Action. Chuck put the link in the chat. Please check me out. I do a lot of drone leaks, especially on the DJI FPV drone. I will do it on pretty much any DJI drone, also GoPro cameras, and I do reviews on drones, cameras, and technology. You should check it out. pretty cool place, I guess.
Thank you.
All right.
Chuck. Chuck, do you want to plug your channel quickly? We might as well.
My
just
channel
do
is
it.
Covaction Dronography. If you spell it mostly right, you'll get there. And I'm mostly about cinematic travel videos and such, but I've been doing some how-tos now with tech stuff and kind of branching out a little bit, doing vlogs. I'm trying to create content that's really fun and engaging to watch, stuff that people will dig. So check it out and tell me what you think, because I'm always interested in the good and the bad. Don't be afraid. Tell me what you really think. And I'll get better. Thanks for watching, awesome. Everybody.
Thank you for watching, guys. If you want to know any more about what we didn't cover about the Mars drone, I've got a little video on my site.
Wait. Yeah, this guy over. Hate this backwards camera. I like walk like an Egyptian now. Walk like an Egyptian. Keith at the K Spot. Definitely check out his channel. Sorry, Keith. Now you can talk about your Mars video because it's pretty epic.
No, I was going to say it's on there, and I will try and extradite the intro. I might even post that as a little sort of short or something.
Really good.
You should, yeah. That's it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one, which will probably be Tuesday. We'll post more info when we have it. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Peace out.